Hello. I'm sick. And whenever I'm sick, what really helps me is not lying in bed like some fucking pussy, drinking tea. It's getting the fuck out of bed, taking a fat ass dump, you know? Drink a little bit of, coffee, a little bit of that. Just fucking, you're ready to fuck the day. Get on the floor, start doing fucking push-ups and that's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. That's the way you do things. Like, I have this solar watch, this stupid fucking, it's actually back there. I'm not gonna get it. I'm too fucking tired and sick. But I just crashed like a thing in my arm. That hurt. Ow, son of a gun. Anyway, this watch is solar. I can't fucking use it. You can go from the time to the day by pressing a button on the side, which I can't do. Such a stupid fucking watch. You can't do anything with it. Like, it's just one of the dumbest inventions. It's just stupid. It's a stupid, flawed invention. This watch or this phone, they need to charge, that you need to get like addicted to. It's just stupid. It's like this flawed invention, like the invention of, I don't know, pussy or a vagina, where it's good. It's really great, but you need to keep going back to it. It's so much work. You always have to keep paying attention. It gets you up in the middle of the night, or you have to go on long treks to do this fix, or you won't be able to use it anymore. It's a fucking problem. Like, it really is. Like, it's just like the phone, or like this piece of technology, this machine invention thing, where it's kind of like, it's really great, but you get addicted and you have to keep getting it to this certain place. You either have to update it or charge it, or sometimes it doesn't want to work with you. It's against you, and it's just slow and doesn't load, doesn't process, doesn't communicate. So you kind of have to let it do its own thing, It's it's a real mess. It's a real fucking mess. So those two are very much alike. But whenever I sleep, I can always, things are working. My mind's at work. I remember there was this cut in a video or whatever that I didn't add, and I woke up. It was like, oh, I forgot to do that. Like, I'm more wired and conscious when I'm asleep rather than when I'm awake. Isn't that odd? Is that kind of an odd thing? Like, that's pretty ironic. I mean, that's weird. That's weird. Come on. That's pretty weird. And I'm in this hotel room, and I'm able to use it to my advantage, like sleep or some other thing, rather than getting mad at how the wash doesn't work or the pussy doesn't work. How about getting it to work? Let's get this thing to fucking operate correctly. Why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? Hold on, I gotta. Sorry, I'll have to cut this out. So. Is that good? I don't even know. I think it is. I think we're good. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. But in this hotel room, I got certain things I can do. There's a mini refrigerator. I can put food in there if it's fish or eggs or whatever. So it's like I'm living in my own little apartment. It's very expensive, but it's like my own little apartment. There's like a little piece of heat. There's some heat above the fridge. I can put the pizza there and heat it up. It'll take a long time, but it'll work. in the kettle. This is something I actually want to do on camera. I can put little eggs in there and boil them. I can get boiled eggs and warm pizza and wake up and have some hot coffee or whatever. Like, it's great. It's really great. I'm gonna go work on those eggs, but I'll be right back. All right, so I have these eggs. I don't know if you can see them. But here's the kettle. And maybe if you can, like, get in there. See, all those eggs are in the fucking thing. So now my plan is add more water, heat it up, and see what the fuck happens. Hold on. Okay, so I added the water. Heat it up. So now this thing is, pretty much garbage, whatever the fuck. You probably put 2 things in there. Make some good breasts. I don't know. 2 assholes. Hold on a sec. I'll have to wait for that to finish, but I'll be. Alright, the eggs are. Let me get my leg in here. There we go. So the legs are. The eggs, not the legs. The eggs are pretty much done, but I don't remember what I was talking about. But you can use a lot. Use these things to your advantage. Don't work hard, work smart, I'm not going to take the eggs out. I'm going to let them sit in that hot water. And once they're sitting in there, they're actually also cooking. So I'm doing nothing, yet I'm doing something. The key to cooking is do nothing. Let it burn. Who gives a shit? It's about being lazy. That's why cooks are so fat, because they're lazy. But I have some other things I want to talk about, so hopefully it's not like a bad transition. But yesterday I was at this mall in somewhere in the French quarter of the world. And in this mall, there was no food. Yeah, it was all like healthy, gross stuff. There was no meat. Uh-oh. Fuck. Holy shit. The water started to overflow. There was like all this white foam in there. So I dropped the egg and it cracked. It almost burnt. Or actually, you can't burn a kettle. But it almost. Something almost. But I always wake up in the morning. My hair is frizzy. Doesn't matter what I do. It's nothing to shower. Just fucking bed. Tumbling and turning, and then all of a sudden, I look like I just finished having sex or something. Because people's hair is all over the place. But I was in this mall, and there was no food. Yeah, sure, you had like chocolate. Those like French pancakes with the chocolate on it. They call it like the crepe. Put the chocolate on the crepe, right? And they had that, and they had like vegan crepe. There was no like meat. It was like hell on earth. There were no cool stores, no sporting goods. It was all like clothes and leggings and all this disgusting stuff. There was no like barbecues or fishing rods or fucking footballs or guns like actual what you sell at a strip mall, But it was like hell on earth. And I'll tell you why. I went to the bathroom. They make you fucking pay to go to the bathroom. Here's how fucking insane that is. There's literally no food there. Like no hamburgers or hot dogs or fucking steaks or like fish, nothing grilled, no tuna sandwiches or like chips or no omelet sandwich, none of that. They don't have any of that. There's nothing to buy there. The people don't want to talk to you there. You can't just like bullshit with people. It's fucking awful. And then when you have to take a piss, you have to give them like $1. Yeah, it was like 70 cents to use it once. But what if I have to use it? Forgot something in my car, I have to come back. I have to pay again? What if I went and then, I don't know, half an hour later, the rest of like my soda or my beer hits my gut and I have to go again? I have to pay you. Can I just like pay for like a card? Like, why do I even have to pay to go to the fucking bathroom? That's fucking insane. Like, Jesus Christ. Stupid. It's literally hell on earth. And if you died and you didn't bring any change with you, any coins, any money, any credit cards, you just have to hold it in for eternity. You can't piss on the floor. Like, fuck. That's fucking bullshit. It's so fucking stupid. Honestly. Who invented that? That's stupid. They have everything. If it's a sex store, a tobacco store, but they don't have the stuff you need. It's all bullshit. You know what I mean? We are living in a fucking tragedy. We really are. Like, we are living in a tragedy. You have to understand that the world fucking sucks and it's not going to get better anytime soon. I'm so sorry. It's just not going to fucking happen. I've heard Tim Dillon talk about this where people need their goodies, but people would rather spend their money on like something you can smoke or do, like a drug or drink or fuck, other than like food. They'd rather buy like, I don't know, junk food or some shit. It's absolutely crazy. It really is. It really is. But ladies and gentlemen, we're living in a fucking tragedy because people are stupid. People are fucking retarded. Like they're bad. Like they're not good at what they do. They're just not, But I said it the other day. It was like, if men had amnesia, they would kind of pick it up, It'd be pretty okay. It'd be pretty calm. Women would be tearing each other's hair out, fucking killing each other. It's like that one episode from Family Guy. They all wake up in a hospital, and they're kind of just like, okay, this is pretty cool. This is cool. They're not emotional, they're calm and all that. They're civil. But the women, they'd be fucking tearing each other's hair out and shit. Fucking punching each other in the fucking face. And pulling each other by their nightgowns. Or, in the better version, by their teddies. Can you imagine if they're wearing those? Oh, fuck. Especially, like, Bonnie, Lois. Oh, my God, it'd be so hot. Not Meg. Fuck her. She's gross. But if men had amnesia, I feel like human beings need amnesia. Like a great reset. Which is what's happening. The world would be fine, but yeah. I gotta go check on those eggs. Fucking hair. Goddamn. But if men or people had amnesia, well, they'd be fine. I mean, it wouldn't. Because you'd be stupid. Which is sort of the case now. But some people don't change. And I feel like with people, certain people, with certain people, it's like you're not going to change no matter what they put you through. So it's like, even though you might think somebody is a certain thing, right? Or you live in a world now where women think men are evil and they've made this evil world when it's not actually the case. Because you could put them through something and people don't change. They are who they are, you know? You're either born a Fanuc or you're born normal. You know what I mean? Like, it's very wide and vast. It's not a thin line. It's just not. You are what you are. You don't change unless you become insane, which I guess could happen. I have no idea. But, I was doing this before, talking about the hippie thing. We give them a gun. What are they going to do? They're going to put a fucking flower in it. They're not going to start shooting you, you know? But anybody can be a hippie, and not everybody is a hippie. So it all depends on who the fuck you are. It's just, that's just the case. All right, it's just the way the world is. Yeah, just the way the world is. I'm gonna go check on my eggs. I'll be right back. Ooh, yummy. Yummy eggs. Yummy. Anyway, all good. I'm recording for about, I don't know how long. I did that cut between probably 20 minutes or so. I'm not really sure. But oh, I was trying to do a rant before. I don't know. It didn't work. It didn't feel very natural. That's probably why it didn't work so well. Yeah, that was probably it. You know. But I'm gonna try and go back again and see what I get out of it this time. You know. Probably have to. Go ahead and make a list. I like these good points. Talk about them. That'll be good. You know? I'll make something out of it. It'll go somewhere. Fucking hate construction. Yeah, well, it's not picking up on the construction. That's good. It's always good. You know that Korean show where the one called Squid Games. If you had actual people, if that was a real game, you had actual people in that, they wouldn't last 10 minutes. They wouldn't be smart enough. Especially if there's black and white people or just black people. They're gonna fucking start pulling each other's hair or start yelling. There's not enough pot or alcohol or TV to get them through. You take all that away from them, they're gonna fucking kill each other. Like, that's no joke. They will fucking start ripping each other's heads off. Sneak in, like, I don't know, weapons. Maybe carve a toothbrush, not a toothing brush. Maybe carve a toothbrush into, like, a dagger or a fucking knife. Like, that's bound to happen. Like, people are so fucking stupid. More than ever before in, like, the history of mankind. You put them in a show like that, I don't think there's going to be any winners. They're all going to die. They'll turn away for a second because there's a stripper and they're getting a lap dance. So you turn off the security cameras, you know, have a little drink, a little Hawaiian style party. Be great. Little hula skirt, little limbo over there. Party's over next morning or an hour or two later. You turn it back on. They're all lying on the floor, dead. They're all fucking, you know, they're dead. They're dead. Okay? They're dead. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Fucking dead. What are you gonna do? They're all dead. We're living in a bit of a tragedy now, aren't we? And, you know, be better off we had a little of that flash from the Men in Black. Like, just that weird noise thing. If we had that, you'd probably be, you know, kind of get off the dumb ones. It's kind of just like, let's lose the dumb ones. Let's, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Push them off a cliff, maybe? I'm not even sure. Because that shit isn't legal. It's not ethical. But if it were to happen, you know. Nah, I'm just kidding. Can't do that. It would take too long. It was how long that would take. That would take a decade. There are billions of people. You can't just start. If it took 5 years or 4 years to kill 6 million Jews, how long would it take to kill, like, billions of people? What, 25, 50? I'm going to be dead by then, so what's the point? What's the fucking point? I'm not a dangerous man. This is satirical. It's purely satirical. Satirical stuff. But, put a bunch of people in a classroom, figure out who they are, you know? Kind of like the hippie with a gun thing, or the straight man, you know, the Letterman jacket. He's on the football team. He's going off to Vietnam. Give him a flower and, I don't know, a paintbrush. Let's see what he can fucking do with it. And start drawing, like, I don't know, maybe a pair of tits, a cunt. I don't know. It's a guy who's been stabbed. He's bleeding all over the place. Turns out to be tomato sauce or whatever. All right? That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. For sure. For sure. That's right on. It's right on the dot over there, you know? Okay. Last time my webcam it stopped recording like 10 seconds before I ended, which is fine. It's not a big deal, but I mean, still, because like, I had no idea. I just had no fucking idea. So it just stops whenever it wants. I don't really understand that. Like, that doesn't make really any sense to me. Why it would just such a advanced and impressive piece of technology would just quit whenever it wants to, just like a woman, just like a woman. Holy shit. But getting back to what I was saying, we're doomed as a fucking nation. You know, I've heard so many people talk about. I'm not the first. You know, literally every fucking middle-aged to late-aged male or female talking about politics or this or that, I've already talked about it. That's where I got the idea from. I'm a fucking hack. I know I'm a hack. I do love Caddyshack, though. What a great movie. You know, because hack rhymes with Caddyshack. What a great movie that fucking was with Rodney Dangerfield, and he's like this low-class guy, doesn't give a shit. He's not a pussy. Reminds me a lot of Luther Van Dam from Coach, where he's kind of like slob, doesn't care, and he's funny, and he's real, and he's sincere, and all that shit. You had Rodney, you had Ted Knight, you had Harold Lloyd was the director, I think. You had not Adam Sandler, he was in a different golf movie. You would have ruined that movie though. Chevy Chase, of course. We're doing a lot of coke in that movie, and of course, Bill Murray. It's a good comedy. There were a lot of good ones. The Americans don't know how to make good movies anymore. It's such a lost cause. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's gone. It's definitely gone. Because I was watching this movie last night, and I haven't finished it, but this Russian like horror movie from only a couple of years ago called Sputnik. It's sort of like Alien, where it's in outer space and whatnot, but it's so fucking good. From the get-go, you're into it. It's just creepy, and there's action in there, and there's sci-fi, and it's interesting, and it's spooky. It's got all the great things a great movie needs, and American movies desire, my friend. They just do. They just do. You know? But getting away from the crappy movie thing, you know? I love how people say they don't need the government. Like, fuck the government. The government's the one providing you with drugs, either prescribed or from a fucking store or dealer, you know? The alcohol, food from the grocery store. You're not a fucking farmer. You know, China's taking that away from us. Buying our farms. Jesus, you know? So when I think of those things, when I really think of those things, you know, it's really quite odd because it's so hypocritical. People think they're so smart and they're so serious when they're actually dumb. And most of the dumb people, you know, comedians or people that are silly and whatnot, are actually the opposite. They're the serious ones and the smart ones. They're just pretending they're getting it out, you know? So take away their drugs, their alcohol, their sex, their phones, the food from the store. How the fuck are you going to get through life? Like, a lot of people are becoming so independent now, which is great with what you're creating. If it's a book or a movie or a one-man show, like a comedy special, or doing like a radio show yourself, like a recorded interview, which is basically what a podcast is. It started out from radio. Like, all those things you're doing independent, which is great. But what happens when they take away our internet or our Wi-Fi? How the fuck are gonna people operate? They just can't. They don't have what it takes. They just don't. Right? So when that happens, then you're gonna see the end of the world. Like people talking about the end of the world. Is it the end of the world or the end of the world we once knew? It's just the great, as they call the Great Reset, which I don't even know what the fuck that means. But they're making a new, different world with everything else. So that's the way it is. Ears just popped. Ears just popped. Anyway. I remember when I was a kid, I was relatively innocent and naive and whatnot. Probably a good breaking point. But cut right here. Or cut from I wasn't really concerned with the world and the way things were going, or, getting laid or whatever. I was calm. Things are pretty good. Grew up in the 2000s and loved playing Pokemon or Xbox or whatever. And it came to this point, we think it got pretty chaotic and hectic around the time Trump came into the world, like really came into the world, like 2016. That's when things really were amplified. Like that scene from Back to the Future when he's in that room, the clock room, and he's going to each knob and each switch, turning them on, and with the knobs, turning them on all the way up, all to the right. And then there was this guitar struck and everybody gets flown back. I don't know what that was, if that was 2016, 2018, 2020. And then people just get so, worried and so paranoid. And this isn't political. I'm talking about culturally. I'm talking about sociology. This is science, you fuck. Fuck you. Think this is political? Go fucking eat out your mother, you fucking pussy. Fuck you. Do I give a shit? But basically things got really chaotic and really crazy. Things were going in that direction, but not to that extent, not to that, degree. It just wasn't headed there yet. And I feel like that's why things are so crazy now. If you didn't have the internet or even like a smartphone, because you can't carry a laptop around with you, that's for sure. Can you imagine people were using their fucking flip phones like they were 20 years ago? It'd be insane. It's a gum wrapper, don't worry. I smoke pot, I'm not going to jail. But could you imagine if that was the case? I mean, that would have been fucking insane. If you had that instead, if you had that, how different would things be if people had to click one button 3 times to go from A to C and then do the same thing like it's a flip phone, How different would things be, honestly? This is a pretty relatively depressing and serious way of talking. And I don't like talking like this, but it works. It's what I'm good at. I'm not good at being funny. I suck at being funny. I'm good at being weird and depressing and serious and all that crap. Because even look at the sound of my voice. It sounds like somebody's dying. I talk like this because I'm dying. I kind of sound like Stephen Wright, but that's the way it is. Yeah. I have powdered water, but I don't know what to add. You know? So it's one of those things. But my point being is that things changed rapidly. Things got so fucking crazy. And this is all based off listening to other people talk about and having them, you know, having them make me so aware and waking me up. Because it's nice to be asleep for that fucking long. But at some point, you got to open your eyes and get out of bed, you know? Can't do it forever. I mean, some people can, but personally, I fucking can't, you know? Point being, when I was a kid, I was so happy. Not gay, just like playing with toys, playing with friends, not worrying if I was racist or sexist or any of that crap. The 2000s were pretty good. Even up to 2015, things were pretty good. In 16, things started changing. They just did. Like, that's when the world started to suck. You saw, like, the problems begin to erupt with groups of whatnot. Certain groups, certain violent groups. But things weren't crazy yet. They just weren't. I had a pretty fucked up childhood, you know? Got mad many times. My fucking alcoholic father chased me on the house. Always give me gifts. People give gifts because they feel guilty, especially when it isn't your birthday or it isn't Christmas time. I've been away for 2 or 3 weeks. That's fucking weird. But you know, I feel like I could get through it. I'm gonna get thrown into some fucking camp like in 1984, or I don't know. That's gonna happen. If that's gonna happen, all right. It's sad, but hey, that's where the world is. So the world's heading. I like making people uncomfortable. I like depressing the fuck out of. I don't know. I don't know on purpose, but when it happens, it's like, oh, that's actually kind of funny. It's actually kind of funny. Oh. But yeah, you gonna do. Just sit here in silence. I'll come up with something good to say. I'm not very funny. I'll go another 10 minutes. And that's it. I do gotta eat. I need to eat those eggs. I'm starving. Fucking starving. Mm-hmm. There's something I do want to talk about. When I was a kid, when I was really young, I had this friend, and he felt like there was this pressure to be, a certain way. Likeable, charming, do whatever your friends do. You would do coke if they were doing coke, or you would do something gay if they were doing something gay. Just because you wanted that approval, that acceptance, and that fucking, type of, I need to get into your fucking club. I need this. Parents didn't like me, or somebody didn't like me, or whoever didn't like me, but I need them to like me, And it's fucking bullshit. Be whoever the fuck you want to be, Fuck. You know what I say? Fuck the gays, the ones that are stupid. Fuck the people that aren't funny and that suck. They're just fucking retards. That's what I say. Fuck them. Fuck them. They suck. I really do. And it's, in my case, especially, feel like, there was this peer pressure. Got to be a certain way. And then it came a time where I want to be a fucking American. I want to fucking hunt, shoot squirrels, shoot deer. I don't give a shit. I want to fish. I want to watch sports. I don't want to cook. That's a fucking woman's job. They put in the fucking dress. They call it an apron. No, it's a fucking dress. You're delicate with the food and you're gentle. No, fuck that shit. Gotta go to a restaurant and have some cocksucker cook it for me. It's all confident and whatnot. Ugh. And I remember now. You feel like this villain. Because I came up to be this thing that people didn't like. A straight white male who swears, is offensive, makes jokes. And I love America. I love my country. And if you don't love your country that you're in, meaning America, get the fuck out. Fuck you, you dirty Mexican or you dirty black or whatever the fuck you are, even if you're white. I don't care. If you don't like America, you think it's racist or sexist, then fucking leave. Why are you even there? Get the fuck out. Go back to Canada. Go back to Africa. Fuck you. America's so bad. Why are you milking off of it? Why are you absorbing? Why are you taking all the fruit from the tree for yourself, you selfish prick? Leave. Nobody's keeping you here. Fucking leave. Jesus Christ. Fucking leave already. We're all sick of you anyway. I'm that guy. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be like Rodney or Luther Van Dam. Funny, doesn't give a shit. That's who I am, who I've become. Influenced by Norm and Gilbert and all those guys. Don Imus, Cumia, Gavin a little bit. Those kind of people. They've influenced me a lot. They're funny, smart. Gavin, I don't know. He's smart enough. But when I was growing up, too much of a fucking nice guy. Brother used to fucking not beat the shit out of me. He's not capable of that. Remember one time he would just smack me over the head and I fucking flipped out. He had these rings. I can feel them. I could feel that metal, that thick silver. I don't know if it was lead or whatever it was. Maybe it was, I don't know. I could feel them. It's the back of my neck, close up to my head where the hair kind of ends. One time he threw a lacrosse ball at me, almost fucking killed me. Stabbed me in the back, cracked my head open. It was too fucking fat. Bad things happened to me when I was a kid. And this one time, years later, after the ring thing and the lacrosse ball thing, and then being a spoiled, selfish cunt that he is, he was in the kitchen. I was I'm kind of down that day. I just said whatever I felt. Like, we're supposed to listen to our feelings. That's what the 70s were about, and the 80s and the 90s. But now, because your feeling might not be PC, or if it's offensive, oh, ignore your feelings, bottle them up. Like, what the fuck? Out of your fucking mind here? You goddamn hypocrites. He's got this weird nose piercing up his nose. And he asked me, am I a man? Do you think I'm manly? And I said, well, you can't be gay and manly. I'm sorry. Like, I was sincere about it. He's like, oh, what do you know? What do you, oh my God, what do you know? Like a chick, like a fucking 6-year-old blonde in 2000, I don't know, 7 or 8 or 6, whatever. It's kind of true. I was honest enough, gave enough of a shit to give you my opinion. You told me I suck at singing. Thank you for that. And I'm telling you, you can't be a man and a fag. I'm sorry. If you enjoy being a fag, you can't be a man. You can't be a fanuk, a balaka, or a balaka, whatever, and manly. And I'm not even going to apologize saying, well, there are some gay men who... No, I don't care. What have I got to lose? A deal? Sponsors? On fucking Anchor, I get 10 cents a listen. And then you can listen for an hour. I get 10 cents. I've only earned like $2.50. It's fucking awful. I'd rather work in a goddamn sweatshop in fucking Indochina, where it's communist run back in the 60s or some shit. You know? And now this fucking prick is going around telling people, or told one person who told another who told another. I called them fat, which I never did. That's bullshit. I said you weren't a man. That's true. And I said, you're gay. Because for Halloween, you wanted to dress up like a fucking woman. In a fucking dress with heels. And it's just like, okay, well, you want to be a dumb fuck retard? By all means, my friend. By all fucking means, go ahead. Fucking go ahead. You know? That's the truth. You want to be a woman? You want to be a man? What does that mean? That means sucking it up. Doing something you don't want to do. Taking shit from others. I remember one time I took shit from a hooker because I was having too much of a good time. And this was years ago. Years ago. Not anytime recent. She wasn't really a hooker. She was my girlfriend. She wanted me to... It was ex. She made me pay for the date. She said, if you take me out and pay for dinner, you can have sex with me. So, you know, in that way, she was like a hooker. You know? Because I was dating any different than... Back to my fucking brother. That fuck. Ugh. The guy's too hard on himself, you know? Where he's like, oh, I used to be fat. I was such a fat fuck, like really evil and dark about it, which is something a woman would be. He's very much a woman. You know, he's not a man. He's a woman. Sorry. You can lift stuff, sure, but I've been through more shit than that cocksucker. I just have. Cracked my head 3 times. I was probably molested as a kid. I don't fucking know. My dad was a fucking drunk. Not for a long time, for a brief period. He was an alcoholic. No denying that. He drank so much until he, you know, wasn't himself anymore. You know? He would hit me. He wouldn't beat the shit out of me, but he would hit me and get loud. When you're that loud and you're that drunk, I'm sorry. That's called being drunk. And when it happens again and again and again, you're a quote unquote drunk. Not anymore, but like 10 years ago. Oh yeah, he was a fucking alcoholic. There's no denying that. There's no denying that. This is just the truth. This is why I do this. This is why I like doing this. It's getting my shit out. It's being sincere. It's being honest, making sure I'm still recording. It's just, I don't know, it's what I like to do. All right? I said to wrap this up. It's been 10 minutes. But my family is fucked up. My mother had these suicide attempts. Because I know it for a fact because I made this joke in the car on the way back from school, like ninth grade or whenever, saying she has low self-esteem. And then my sister and my dad started laughing. And I didn't get it because I didn't know about that till years later. You know? There was one time she was cutting a bagel, like, vertically. The knife slipped, and she cut halfway through her finger. She was at her bone, like, through layers of skin. Not just one. Like, it was bad. Took her to the hospital immediately and told, like, all of our teachers at school we were at home sick, you know? I remember hearing my dad talk to one of the parents of a kid who was, like, in my class about just that. You know, so, like, a lot of fucked up shit. But, you know, that's life. You either don't handle it or you do. I went to a slaughtering house once with my dad. There was a rabbi there, and he was slitting a sheep's throat. But even before we even got to that part, my brother was already afraid. Like, does that sound like a man to you? Like, I'm sorry for being a piece of shit here. I'm sorry. But when somebody stabbed me in the back, I stabbed them back. I didn't cut his hot dog right, so he picked up a knife and he stuck it in my back. That motherfucker. You know what I mean? I went through shit. You know? We're at the shooting range, shooting a gun. Me and my brother both cried. But who got up and shot the gun? I did. He sat there like a bitch crying. You know? I am the leader. You know? Just am. Back to the part I forgot about the slaughterhouse story was we were going out to pick an animal. We drove up like hours, and there was there was a fence. In the fence there were like rows with like wooden gates separating all the animals. You had all these like separate rows, and it was gated around and all that shit. You know, gated around and fences, and we're looking at sheep. My brother starts crying because I think he knows what's gonna happen. I didn't. I was too innocent and too stupid. So he picks it up, grabs two legs from the front and two legs from the front, two legs from the back, like that, you know, and puts it on his back like that, and he just starts crying, and he doesn't want to go, and he has a freak attack. So he goes in the car. He's watching like Tom and Jerry or something. I go in there. They put the sheep on like a giant garbage bin, and they hold its legs down. I think my dad did, and the rabbi brings a knife to its throat, just clean, and it's sharp, it's metal, it's shiny, and blood starts spurting out like, I don't know, period blood or something, like, you know, kind of like that scene from what's the movie called? Something Thunder, Jungle. Thunder. Hold on a second, let me find it. Oh, I remember. Tropic Thunder. So it's like the scene from Tropic Thunder where I think Robert Downey Jr. or Ben Stiller has a blood wound, starts spurting. And then after all of that, they take it over and just start cutting it up. It's like, okay. They cut off the head and all like the big bones, like the legs and stuff, and just start chopping up like the basic torso, into little like cute cubes. It's like, oh, cool. Like a little stew out of this and shit. Oh, cool. Because you can't be sad about it. Oh, fuck you. You gotta, a little like, well, that's life. What are you gonna fucking do about it? That fucking sucks now, doesn't it? And then went on the car, got some in a box, put it in the back, and drove home. Watched Tom and Jerry the rest of the way back. And, he's a fucked up kid. He's like, it's like his half brother. But I think I'm done talking about my fucked up family. Um, to kind of wrap up everything I'm talking about, humanity or growing up in the 2000s, talking about people that I knew. You got to be able to make something out of it. If you have anger and all this emotion, don't just like smoke to release it or get drunk or something. Like, make something out of it. Like, I don't know, make it into a piece of writing or act it out or make a recording. Do something with it so you can look back on it and document it in this way. I remember doing that, and I turned it into this sort of like, it was like a diary entry, sort of like a poem, whatever, into this book I'm working on, this sort of like fictional story, but there's something to it. It's good.